Take it away.
Hello, Judge Abby. Glad to have you here. I'm going to ask you to, if you can hear me okay, and I tried to warn you that I'm going to maybe speak some Yurok. Can you stand that? I hope you can stand it. So listen, and you don't have to say it right now, but see if I'm saying the right thing, okay? You can be my elder. Wakluki Makinas. Wakluki Makinas. Don't tell me now, but I want to ask you at the end of my introduction whether I said something or not, and I hope it wasn't bad. I've been a judge for about 40 years, and I've known Judge Abby Abinanti for just about as long or longer because we were law students together. I didn't go to UNM. I went there for a summer school, and she was there then. I've been a presiding judge of the Umatilla tribes for 40 years, and I think I've known her longer, although she was probably just a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old then. We both had dark hair. I think I was 6'4" then, and she had really dark black hair. And as I remember her, that she also had a kind of a temper because it matched mine. So I do remember that. I've been a presiding judge in this. I've been an Indian, a practicing Indian all my life, practicing Umatilla all my life. I was mentored by my elders, my family, my uncles, and mentored by, as a judge, as a young judge by all of them, as well as a guy named Raymond Popcorn Burke, who was a judge, chief judge, our only other chief judge besides me. And he taught me how things should be and that people were very important. He also said there are things that we want to keep doing and do ourselves, that we wanted to do our own justice system, and we wanted to do it our way. And I think that the people have always said that to me, and I remember that all the time. My elders also say to listen and to do the right thing. And we, I think, have done that. We don't write our Tamanwit, our customs and traditions, which are our traditions and our language. We don't usually write that. Indians didn't write things down. But we call that, and my elders always told me, that's our common law. That's how we practice things. It may not be written, but it's something that we will continue to use. And so those things are instilled in our laws. And they've been given truth, value, and recognition in all that we do. I think not just our behavior, but how we write our laws. So I know that Judge Abby, I call her Abby, but I think she likes to be called Judge Abby, so I'll call her that she was born on the Yurok reservation, that she was raised by, I think, a very kind, gentle grandmother who had a cane, or maybe it was an auntie, had a cane that sometimes had to correct her and caught her very, very, very often if she needed to be corrected. She grew up on the Yurok reservation, which is in Northern California, if any of you don't know that. She's the important thing that she's done besides her life and what she's doing now is that she was the first Yurok native indigenous person or woman admitted to the California State Bar, which is very, very impressive because that's a giant bar association in California and a very tough test. She has served as a Yurok tribal judge, I think, since 1997 or before, possibly. And I think she's been chief judge since 2007. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, Abby. And when we met first at UNM, it was for the LTIP program, the American Indian Lawyer Training Program. It was in the summer that I was going there. And that's when I saw, I think she might have been president of the Indian Law Association or Indian Law Students Association. That's when I saw that she could have a temper. She's a very important person in the judiciary and in Indian country across the nation, and she's very well thought of by not just me, but a lot of people. And with that, I'll introduce Judge Abby, but I want to see if she passed, or if I passed the test of Wakluki Makinas. What did I say?
Thank you.
Hey, was it Makinas, the thank you part, or which part is?
The first part.
Okay, so what I thought I was being said because I was looking it up on one of your documentaries. It said Wakluki Makinas, and it said thank you for coming.
Yes.
So I thank you for being here, and I know you're going to say a lot of important words, so I'll be quiet. Kala.
Next now, Judge Abby, Rekoy Ak, Ayukui, and thank you, Bill, for your kind introduction. I want to talk a little bit about food sovereignty and the whole issue of what we need to do around that. And we're lawyers. We understand what sovereignty means, but I think what we need to do is take a step back and say, what does that mean to us as tribal people? And I think that what we have to realize that sovereignty isn't about, as the English translation makes it sound like it is about, power and who has the power to. For us, it's about responsibility and who has the responsibility to do certain tasks. We were given gifts when we came here. When you look around you in your homeland, you can see, wow, we really got a lot here. There's so many things that are interlocking. You know, for us, we have the river, we have the woods, we have the acorns, we have the animals, we have so much, we have eels. And we have a beautiful place that when the invaders came, actually sheltered us because we could run and hide. And that's why probably to this day, we're the largest surviving tribe in this state, because we had that and we were protected. And now we have to look around us and go, you know, what we did then was necessary. But now, if we don't come out and protect those people and those beings that are here, that were put here, that we have a relationship with, they're not going to make it. And if they don't make it, we're not going to make it. And actually, even though they may not understand that, the invaders won't make it either. You know, because if you destroy a place, you can't stay there because there's no way to be maintained in that place. And so you have to understand that as you move forward, and as you move forward in the world, you have to go, okay, how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? And as you're planning your life as a human, you have to look at, okay, food is a big part of that. You look at, for us, it's fish, it's acorns, it's gardens, it's whatever, and go, how is that going to happen? How are we going to put food back into its main position here? Not to you know, I spend my share of time in Safeway and Walmart also, but there is a better way to do it, in a way that's more helpful to us. And as we look at how our eating habits have changed, they changed because we weren't given access to our gathering and hunting ways. When we were forced to live on reservations, they took a lot of that away from us. But in so doing that, it has an impact on us. And that impact was, for the most part, not positive. And this, again, I'm talking about food and food gathering. And so we have to look back to those values and go, okay, why did we have those values and what did they do? And should we just evolve and continue to get in line at Walmart? Or was there a reason we were given those values? To me, I think there was a reason we were given those values. Because when we ate like that, when we cooperated in community to gather and to provide food to the village, we had much more harmony and we had less poverty, we had less illness, and we were able to move forward in a more positive way. Now that's a value. And I certainly understand a couple of 100 years have passed. How are we going to recreate that? What you're looking to do, what I want you to look at and what I want you to think about is, okay, this is our value system. Here's the invasion. Here's today. How are we going to develop practices that are consistent with those values for today's world in this climate change mess that we've all created here? And part of how we're going to do that is we're going to look at where we can do, for instance, gardening. You know, can we have gardens that we share among families? Can we create gardens at schools so that we teach our children about gardening, so that they know that part of their activity at schools is going to be around gardening, is going to be around, you do this, then this food will come into your cafeteria. And some of this food will go home. Part of it you will give to your grandmother, part of it you will have at home. All right? Those are the lessons that we need to do. And we need to take that step backward and say, this is what we're going to do. And to me, that's what food sovereignty is about. It's about responsibility to prepare food, appropriate food, our food, to gather our food, and to make sure that we understand what our responsibilities are. People say to me sometimes, well, do you fish? And I said, well, you know, at my age, that's why you have nephews. You know, do I go out in the boat sometimes? Yes, I do, because I enjoy that. But I don't do that, you know, and there is a responsibility that humans have. And that's the responsibility. And you have to set up this internal mechanism again and recreate the value system. The fact that we have children in this country and elders who do not have enough to eat is on us. Those of us who are out here doing that. That is not okay. And we each bear some responsibility for that in what we do, what we teach our children, what we teach our grandchildren. And we have to work on that again, and we have to develop practices. You know, one of the things that we do in our court system is work on, like we have an elders program. We make meals in the court and deliver them because I believe that is a legal responsibility. I believe that's what sovereignty is about, is protecting those things. So you'll see a lot in our court that we do, and other people will go, well, wait a second. Is that a court thing? Yes, it is. Because that's what sovereignty is about. It's about responsibility, and it's about interlocking responsibilities. And you must be responsible, and you must be responsible to provide as you are supposed to. You know, and we're looking at starting gardens at 2 of the elementary schools. We're looking at, okay, just individually, how are we going to raise money to, let's see. All right, there's somebody that's saying there's some issues about frozen something.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I just had one person email me saying that their visual was frozen. And I just wanted to see if others were having that issue. And I didn't want to interrupt your amazing flow of words. Please, I think that you're okay.
Okay. Well, freezing me is perfectly fine. Now I don't know where I'm actually, I've disappeared from my own screen, which I frankly don't mind, but it works for me. Oh, there I am back again. It's just me and Bill. Whoops, gone again. Anyway, let me get back to what we're supposed to be talking about, not my screen. I think that we want to look at these issues and seriously understand and not recreate the boundaries that other legal systems have created, because we're not about power and rights. We're about responsibilities and interlocking responsibilities. And once we forget that, we go down the wrong road. And we don't want to do that. I mean, you look around you, you look at what the invaders have brought, you look at their legal system, and frankly, we survived here and did really well for thousands of years. In a couple of 100 years, they have messed the entire joint up. You know, and so what you do not want to do is copy what they have done. And so when you're looking at your structure, look at the structure of responsibilities that you had in the villages that we all maintain, and make sure that we step up and that we do that. You know, having the right to do this or the right to do that, having some kind of power thing. That's not what it's about for us. We have all these other responsibilities and responsibilities to not take too much. You know, it was never about take everything. It was never about get there first and make sure you get the best. It was never, ever like that. And we can't become those kind of people, or we will lead to more trouble for all of us. And the other part of this is that these people who came here have created a friggin' mess. And in truth, they need us to step up and to demonstrate how it should be. Because if we don't even give them a model or an option, they're going to continue to do the only thing they know how to do. And we're the ones that have the models. We're the ones that know what the options look like. And if we don't develop them and let them see them and share in them, what in the world is going to happen to all of us? It's not going to be pretty. You know, we have to face our ancestors someday, and we have to face our grandkids. And what are we going to say? What in the world are we going to say? And I think that's what we need to look at. And I think I went a couple of minutes over my time, but I'm going to blame that on, I don't know what. Maybe I'll blame it on Bill. That seems, I've always done that. It's always worked for me. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I could listen to you talk all day, quite frankly. So the few minutes is perfectly fine. I know that you are probably not able to stay with us for the rest of this time. So I'd encourage anyone that has any kind of specific questions to ask them now while we have you. And I really appreciate your words on this, because for me, food is really the thing that ties all of this together. And so I really appreciated that you even spoke to that and the role of justice in reviving pre-colonial practices. Are there any words of wisdom that you could leave for those of us who are trying to decolonize in our lives wherever possible, especially in the context of environmental degradation?
I think that what you have to do, what all of us have to do, is realize it is in your memory. It is in your DNA. You know what to do. Go out and do it. You know, this is not something you don't know. You may have forgotten it for the moment, but you know it. You know, and that's why when you say, oh yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense because I'm talking to something inside of you that's there. You know, part of what happened when we lost, in some ways, many of us, the language was in English, it's nouns. In our language, it's verbs, it's actions, it's doing this, doing that. And they don't have the words for that. But when I tell you words that help you link it up, then it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know.
That's so powerful. Thank you so much. We're so grateful to have you here with us.